Hey, honey.
Yes, Barry?
Let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I am just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination. Maybe it's even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant, right on the famous Los Muertos beach, and the El Dorado Restaurant Beach Club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week we are traveling up to Bucerias. We're going north of Puerto Vallarta. We're going to visit a lovely art gallery run by an interesting man from South Africa. He's come to settle in Bucerias and open his art gallery. His name is Alec Wilson. His art gallery is called Artsi Galeria. And when we're done talking with Alec, we're going to go get a bite to eat over at Bucerias' oldest beach restaurant. It's called El Chivero. And we're going to talk with one of the offspring of the original owners. He's actually the grandson. His name is Alberto Quintero. Alberto got the job talking to me because he was the only one that could speak English. Anyway, thanks, Alberto, for not making me speak Spanish, amigo. Okay, that's all I can tell you about that. We're going to also visit with our friend Edgar Rivas. He's going to join in and tell us about the upcoming Ceviche Aguachili Festival, which will be over at Puerto Magico this weekend. But before we get to all this excitement and all this great news, let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 27th of July, 2022. It was a busy week in Puerto Vallarta. The president of Mexico, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, affectionately referred to as AMLO, was in town last weekend. He did one of his famous mañaneras, where they're long talks, and he discussed security, he discussed economics and foreign policy. The president made a few bold statements as well, referring to pressures that he's getting from the U.S. and from Canada regarding the Green New Deal. I'll talk about that at greater lengths, actually, next week. But he talked about the economy, and in reference to that, AMLO announced that we just have a couple more months of this pesky inflation. Like he knows. Anyway, from Mexico News Daily, it reads, AMLO predicts at least 3 more months of high inflation as rates hit 8%. Inflation, which rose to 8.16% in the first half of July, will start coming down in 3 or 4 months, President López Obrador predicted on Friday. National Statistics Agency, the INEGI, reported Friday that inflation increased 0.43% in the first 15 days of July, compared to the second half of June, leaving the annual rate at a level not seen in more than 2 decades. Prices for potatoes, eggs, and oranges all rose by more than 6% in the space of just 2 weeks, while onions were 5.9% more expensive in the first half of July. The cost of air travel also increased. No kidding. Going up by more than 6%. You're telling me. Tourism packages were up 4.4%, and electricity rose 1.4%. In annual terms, inflation currently the product of a range of factors, including pandemic-related supply chain problems, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, coronavirus restrictions in China, and drought, was more than 17% for fruit and vegetables, over 16% for meat, almost 12% for processed food, beverages, and tobacco, almost 8% for non-food goods, nearly 5% for energy products, and 3% for housing and school fees. Items in the Canasta Básica, a collection of basic foodstuffs and household items, rose 8.86% over the past year, a figure 0.7% higher than the annual headline rate, which is well over double the central bank's 3% target. The high inflation rate will give the central bank added incentive to raise interest rates again when its board meets on August 11th. The Bank of Mexico raised its benchmark interest rate by 75 basis points to 7.75 in late June. It was the first time since the introduction of a new monetary policy regime in 2008 that the bank had lifted its key rate by 0.75 of a percentage point. Speaking in Puerto Vallarta at his regular news conference, López Obrador predicted that inflation will begin to ease in October or November. That's my forecast because international conditions are going to start to change, he said. The president highlighted that inflation in Mexico is lower than that in the United States, where it reached 9.1% in June. Yeah, right. And the European Union, where it hit 9.6% last month. The federal government subsidizes gasoline, helping to keep energy prices down, but López Obrador acknowledged that authorities are struggling to keep a lid on food prices, despite the announcement in May of an agreement with the private sector to ensure fair prices for 24 products in the Canasta Básica. That's why we are now promoting all productive activity, because the formula is to be self-sufficient in energy and self-sufficient in food, he said. That's what we've proposed for many years, in contrast with the neoliberal model, López Obrador said. We are now strongly promoting production for one's own consumption, the production of corn and beans. We're strengthening our fertilizer production plants, and the plans we have is to distribute free fertilizer to 2 million producers starting this year. López Obrador declared that the government is doing its bit so that inflation is brought under control soon. With optimism, without falling into triumphalism, I can tell you that we are going to be fine. We're going to control inflation soon, he said. We've endured 2 calamities that have brought us a lot of pain and suffering, the pandemic and this inflation, which is global, exacerbated by the war in Ukraine because the economy was already in bad shape. It was complicated by the pandemic and ended up worse by the war. There are external factors that could improve, could change. There may be opportunities for a fix. That's what I believe, López Obrador said. Okay, and I have a link to that article from Mexico News Daily with reports from El Economista and Mileniano in the show notes. You can find them at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. I got a message from JR, who informed me that he had taken a bad fall. He was walking in the rain last week. JR is, if you know the story, he's 82. He slipped, lost his little flip-flop and dislocated his shoulder. And, of course, that's causing him a lot of pain. And unfortunately, he's lost his appetite. So that's kind of got me a little worried, but we're working on that. He was also opining on the fact that it is slow, that it's low season, and basically his tour business is very slow as a result. So I've been toying around with adding a donation page or a Patreon page or something like that for JR to my website for listeners who, maybe have taken every tour that they've ever wanted to take and maybe just want to give back to JR in some way. So next week, I will announce what I've done. I'll point you to it and figure out, I'll just got to figure out this week the best way to set up a donation page for JR. So stay tuned for that. We'll get that next week. I also am planning on coming back in August. I've been really busy at home. If you know what I do, I sell houses for a living. And it's been since April that I've been in Vallarta. So I really miss it, and I got to get back. And if you are a breathing human being, you know that the market has changed. Housing market has changed in the United States. Definitely, interest rates are almost double what they were a couple months back. And so we've been really busy talking with our home sellers who need to adjust their prices so that they can actually sell their houses just because of that interest rate bump. And it's painful. It's really a painful process to go through and sit with a lot of these sellers. We've got the same issues going on with buyers, though, because the buyers now are priced out of their loans. Their monthly potential payment just went up about $500. Some of these people that are taking out $500,000 loans. So it's a double-edged sword. It's not easy, but I've been really busy. I just opened 2 escrows, so it's not like we're dead. We're just working harder and talking more and holding hands a little more. So I've been busy doing that here. I've been taking an international real estate course called Certified International Property Specialist, and I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready maybe to start a real estate career in paradise. Who knows? We'll see how that all works out. At least that's my thought. That's my plan. And maybe this trip down, I'll be talking with a couple of brokers and a couple of realtor friends and see what they say. We'll see. But it's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. Last August, at the end of August, if you remember, that's when Hurricane Nora hit. And so we're getting a lot of rain in Puerto Vallarta. It's good. Need the rain. But it's hot. It's humid. And I'm going to have a ton of interviews. I've got a bunch of them lined up from Sayulita to the north, all the way to Tempomixtle to the south, and everywhere in between. And a lot of people have been sending me some great advice and information about people that I should be talking with, and I really, really am appreciating all of that. I'm going to be staying with my buddies Ray and Debbie again over in Colonia Pitial. So thank you, Ray and Debbie. You guys are so generous. Let me stay at your house again. I really love the feeling of Pitial. They have the best taco stand with the prettiest ladies right on the corner, right down the street from Ray and Debbie, just within crawling distance. There's tons of taxis all around, so it's really easy to hop in one and get anywhere you want to go in town. Really strategically located, so I'm really happy just to be coming back to Paradise and to be coming back to Pitial. I'll be checking up on JR, making sure that he is comfy and eating and doing okay, of course. And I will be having a meet and greet, open microphone meet and greet for sure. The time and place I will announce next week, next episode. I know it's got to be a cool spot for sure because it's hot. And I would like to be able to watch the sunset. So, I don't know, we got to find maybe air conditioning, watch the sunset. I'll figure it out. Next week we'll talk about that. But I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to avoid taking a dip in the ocean after sunset because, surprise, surprise, go for a night swim, win stupid prizes, or get a big surprise like a nibble from a prehistoric creature. This is from Yahoo News. Crocodile attacks 2 night swimmers in Puerto Vallarta. 2 American tourists injured in crocodile attack at Mexican resort. This is dated July 22nd. 2 tourists from Colorado were bitten by a crocodile in Puerto Vallarta, in Mexico, after one went for a late night swim and the other tried to save him, authorities say. Civil Defense Office in the western state of Jalisco said a man suffered bites to his legs, arm, abdomen, and chest after entering the water on the 18th of July. The second, who went in the water to help, suffered a wound to his hand. Both men were given first aid at the scene before being transferred to a local hospital, the state Civil Defense Office said. Mexican authorities released photos showing the men receiving treatment on the beach. Vice reported that the attack occurred at the Boca Negra beach at Velas, Vallarta Resort, on July the 18th, close to where a 10-foot-long crocodile was captured and released by wildlife authorities said last week. Several crocodile attacks have occurred near the shores of Pacific Coast Resort of Puerto Vallarta in recent years. Last year, California teenager Kiana Hummel was attacked and dragged underwater by a large saltwater crocodile while vacationing at the resort, ending up in the hospital after fighting it off. Associated Press contributed to this report, and I have a link to this Yahoo News report lifted from Associated Press in the show notes. Stay out of the water at night, everybody. What the heck are you doing? Speaking of eating, Vallarta Food Bank needs our help. Inflation is putting a strain on those efforts that they are so heavily involved in to feed the hungry and the needy. And the note reads, "Hey gang, the weather has been heating up, and as we get into the thick of low season, our line is getting longer every day. We're tightening our collective belts as food prices continue to skyrocket." Yes, we talked about that. Over the past 3 months, we've seen some products and staple items increase in price by, get this folks, 50% to 100% in some cases. It's crazy. While most of us head to the store and pick up essentials we don't see as much, however, here at Vallarta Food Bank, we use, on average, 40 to 50 kilograms of meat and double to triple that in vegetables per day to keep Vallarta's hungry fed a wholesome and filling meal. One of our measures has been to suspend new applications for the dispenses for those food bags, for the food bag program, as the cost of dry goods has made them very expensive. And with monthly donations taking a downturn, we will rapidly blow through our budget. Unfortunately, the cost has increased dramatically in the past 3 months, and it's still climbing. While times are hard across the board, we are also heading into storm season as well, and we're trying to prepare for potential flooding and relief efforts as well. If you have the means to help, we really could use it. The best thing to do for us currently would be to increase our monthly budget. Even 20 pesos a month is something. So please head over to our website, see the different options for monthly donations, and thanks again for your support. We can't do it without you guys. And I have a link to the Vallarta Food Bank monthly membership link there, their page, in the show notes. Get over there and check it out. I will be heading over there when I am back in town in August, and I'll put a microphone in front of somebody's face and see maybe we can hear what's going on over at the Vallarta Food Bank. Thanks so much for what you guys do. I get some great emails from you guys, and lots more suggestions to make the show better, suggestions for guests, thank you notes, questions about paradise, and, you know, I just love getting emails. Well, most of them. Even the ones that are pissed off about something, you know, look, if I don't make somebody laugh, if I don't make you cry, if I don't make you think, if I don't make you mad, then this would be a real boring show, wouldn't it? Think about it. So, anyway, I get emails from time to time that are a little cryptic, that are a little weird. I had one guy ask me if I could meet him and his wedding party and then marry them in holy matrimony. Seriously, I mean, you know, but that got me thinking, you know, should I become a ordained minister with the Universal Church of Life, and that way I could hitch vacationers in Mexico? No, I can't do it. I looked into it and I found out that I cannot legally marry people in Mexico as a citizen of the United States. So that idea is out the window. No good. So anyway, so much for that one. But a few weeks back, I got an email from listener Craig, and the subject line read, 2 months of confusion in PV. Bit kind of Kind of intriguing, right? Anyway, that got my attention, and I went to the email, opened it up, and even the body of the email was a little bit cryptic. It read, "I would love to live in PV. However, I went wild with danger in 2 months." So now this guy's got my attention. So I sent him back an email, and I want to know what's going on. Give me some clarification. So one thing led to another, and we ended up on the phone together. So Craig's story is, well, let's say that it's just a little bit Hunter S. Thompson-esque, let's say. If you remember Hunter Thompson, Hunter was the founder of the gonzo journalism movement in the United States, 1970s, I think it was. And he wrote about the Hells Angels. He embedded himself with the gang. And his most famous work was Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. According to the wiki pages, Thompson, who was among the forefathers of the new journalism movement, said in the February 15th, 1973 issue of Rolling Stone, "If I had written the truth I knew for the past 10 years about 600 people, including me, we'd be rotting in prison cells from Rio to Seattle today. Absolute truth is a very rare and dangerous commodity in the context of professional journalism." And Craig's story is, well, it just might be a little bit much for my listeners. I don't know. I mean, it involves drugs. It involves the underground drug culture in Puerto Vallarta. It involves sex. And it involves crime. Even rock and roll, as a matter of fact. But the question is that proper material for my travel podcast? And we both thought about that for a little while. It would be interesting, but is it too far out for you? What do you think? Let me know. Let me know what you think. You want to hear Craig's story? And Craig, you know you're listening. You want to write down your story and have me read it? Or do you want to come on the show, have me send you a microphone and come on the show and tell me your story? Anyway. Let me know what you think, Craig, and listener, too. Please, let me know what you think. All right, let's get to our first guest. This weekend, if you are in town, you need to get to Puerto Magico. They are having the Ceviche and Aguachili Festival. It's going to be great food. It's going to be great entertainment. And many of you know what Ceviche is, but maybe some of you don't know what Aguachili is. And Aguachili, according to the wiki pages, is a Mexican dish. It's made of shrimp submerged in liquid seasoned with chili peppers and lime juice and salt, cilantro, slices of cucumber, and slices of onion. Raw vegetables such as cucumber are usually added. This raw seafood dish comes from the west region of Mexico and is normally prepared in a molcajete. And the festival is happening, as I said, this Sunday, July 31st in Puerto Mágico. And to talk about it, I have one of my very favorite people in Puerto Vallarta. His name is Edgar Rivas. He's been on the show many times. So let's go right now by telephone from Los Angeles to Puerto Vallarta, and let's talk with Edgar about this weekend's upcoming event. Take it away, Edgar. All right, so Edgar, you're doing a Aguachili festival at the port.
Yes, Barry. We're working on the 12th edition for the Ceviche and Aguachili Festival. Well, this time we're doing a little small change. We're gonna move the festival to Puerto Mágico, this brand new mall which is in the API, where the cruise ships arrive, right here in Puerto Vallarta. So for the first time, we're moving the festival for this summer edition. For those who don't know, the Ceviche Festival is twice per year, always like at the end of January and at the end of July. So in this time, in the summer edition, we're moving the festival to Puerto Mágico, which is the perfect venue. We have the roof, we have parking, we have a bathroom, we have all the facilities for all the people to come to the event, have a great day. And in this occasion, the festival will be Sunday, the 31st of July, and the same schedule from 12 noon until 8 p.m. So we're going to have 14 restaurants, different restaurants from Old Puerto Vallarta, Nuevo Vallarta also. And basically, we're going to have like 40 different recipes. I mean, it sounds a little bit flat, like just ceviche, aguachile, but trust me, all the chefs, the restaurants are coming. They are very, very creative. They are going to bring very interesting recipes. So that's why we're going to have like 40 different recipes between tuna, shrimp, fish, octopus, scallops, oysters. I mean, and that's what I like about the festival. It's all about creativity, and the people, they mix different vegetables, fruits, chiles. That's amazing about the food. The way you can play, you can mix, blend all different flavors. So that's part of the magic, for all people to come and get the most, try different and new flavors, no?
Right, and all in the same spot too, which is really, really cool. How many different restaurants do you have participating?
At this time, we're having 14 restaurants already confirmed. We might have 2 more. Other than the food, we're going to have craft beer. We're going to have two bars with craft beer. We're having Buclas from Bucerias, which is one of the best breweries in town, in the area. We're having La Brew, LA Brew, which is from Morelia. It's a new craft beer in Puerto Vallarta. They are promoting this brand. It's very good. They have some different awards in Mexico.
Nice.
So we're going to have the craft beer. We're going to have Mexican wine. We're going to have specifically a bar with Mexican wine, white wine, and rosé, which is a perfect pairing for seafood. Trust me, this is something you can miss. And I miss, in general, people like wine a lot, and now it's summer, so white wine, rosé, it's perfect for the weather for this summer, and not even for seafood. We're also going to have cocktails. We're going to use raicilla for sure, which is the local mezcal from the area. We're going to have two mixologists, 2 different bars, doing craft cocktails using this very, very Mexican spirit, raicilla. And, live music shows, all different activities. So the idea, is to bring all the people in the same spot to enjoy all the activities, of course, the food. And, food is all about culture. So, the most you can try, the most you can learn about our culture, our gastronomical culture, no?
Exactly right. Now, you've had several events now over at Puerto Mágico, and do you find that you get a different kind of a crowd there because you're not like in town in the romantic zone like you've been the last few years?
Exactly. Puerto Mágico, it's been a great place to work. I've been using the space since last November with the Brewmasters Festival, which was a total success. Then in March this year, the Feria del Taco, May, Sabores de Vallarta. So it's been working pretty much well. People, they like the place. Because it's all covered. We have these whole, it's covered. It's perfect for, even if it's for the sun, the rain. Vallarta now in the rain season is a little bit, it's different, no? It might rain a little bit and stop. Exactly, but then the sun comes out, so, it's a little bit weird. So we're trying to cover all those details. We have parking lots for free, which is very good for all the people. Most of the people comes by car, and also all the bathroom, washroom, restroom, which is clean, enough space. All these different details is very important for all the people to come and have a great time. So that's pretty much that's what I make the decision to change the event to Puerto Mágico. And it's been working. To be honest, the people who attend to the event, we immediately see it's more target, because it's only people who likes to go for the food, for the drinks. I mean, they know for what they go on. So they know it's a food festival. So they know there's going to be a lot of food, drinks, some music. They know they need to bring money in cash. So they come prepared. Otherwise, in Lázaro Cárdenas, in Old Town, I know there's people who comes because they saw the advertising. They know for what they come. And it is good because there's always people walking around the area, which is interesting to bring some new people who, I mean, they might saw the advertising on social media, etc. So it's always good because it brings different people. Yeah. But at the end of the story, it's a little bit different because sometimes it's not the specific people we're looking for. Because we can't control the access. People bring their own beer, their own food. It's part of the activity, part of the festival. But when you're in a private area, that's easier, and you make it better for your all sponsors, the vendors, because it's perfectly private area, so people goes and buy what we have.
Makes total sense. Very interesting. All right, well, very good. Give us the dates again. It's going to be the end of the month, right?
Yes, right at the end of at the end of July, Sunday the 31st, starting at 12 noon until 8 p.m. The access to the event is totally free. There's no cover, nothing. Just come hungry, bring some cash for sure, because you're going to pay everything in cash. And we're going to have live music, different shows, DJ, rock band, etc. And the most interesting part is all the different 40 recipes, ceviche and aguachili we're going to have with all these 14 restaurants.
Absolutely. All right. Well, come hungry, everybody. Make sure that you go there. Edgar knows how to throw a party, so make sure you get on over there. Edgar, thanks for taking your time and talking with me today, and we'll get the word out for you.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you. Thanks so much for this time, for the invitation to all the people. We hope to see you at the event, Puerto Mágico. Don't miss it. It's the summer edition of the Ceviche and Aguachili Festival.
Excelente. All right. Thank you, Edgar. Man, looks like everybody's going to be lining up for delicious food from 40 different restaurants. That's totally amazing. And I have all that information in the show notes. Get on over there and enjoy yourselves. Next up, we are headed to Bucerias, and Bucerias is north of Puerto Vallarta. It is actually about 24 minutes north of the Puerto Vallarta airport, about 18 kilometers in distance. And usually when I go from Puerto Vallarta up to Bucerias, I'm taking a bus, and I grab it in front of the Walmart over on Highway 200, right across from Puerto Mágico. And I grab the Compostela bus, and it takes you all the way up there for pennies. It's just, like $1.50. But when I am coming up on Bucerias, first of all, I tell you tell the driver where you're going. You tell him you're going to Bucerias, and he charges you accordingly. And then I look for a landmark as we're heading in through Bucerias. So I look for the Churrati Market. That's the first place I look. And then I have them stop when I see the CMQ hospital. I have them stop across the street from there. And then, of course, you have to get to the other side of the highway. The highway is 6 lanes. I love that part. Not really. But anyway, once you get across that street, you walk down towards the beach and on into town. On this particular trip to Bucerias, I was visiting an art gallery. And this art gallery is located on the main drag in Bucerias. The street is lined with restaurants and shops and art galleries and condominiums. And the streets in Bucerias they're not crowded with cars and people like they are in Puerto Vallarta. It's a quiet town. And I came to interview the owner of the Artsi Gallery. The owner's name is Alec Wilson, and Alec is an expat. He's going to tell you his story in just a minute. I met Alec through my dear friends Lisa and Billy from RISE, Refugio Infantil Santa Esperanza, which is one of our favorite orphanages, or Casa Hogar in Spanish, over here at the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. Alec was one of the generous sponsors who helped support the So You Think You Can Rise talent show, which was their major fundraiser over at RISE. And Lisa and Billy had asked me if I would introduce some very special businesses and individuals to my audience as a way of thanking them for their support. And of course, I thought that was a great idea. And so far, it has been a really good idea. And Alec was no exception. You're going to love him. So let's go right now. Let's go to 500 Lázaro Cárdenas in Bucerias. And let's have a seat at a table in front of this lovely gallery on a warm, sunny morning. And let's meet my new friend, and hopefully now your new friend. His name is Alec Wilson, an expat in paradise, an artist, an entrepreneur, and an adventurer over at Artsi Galeria in Bucerias, Nuevo Nayarit, Mexico.
Okie dokes.
All right. Alec.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for coming out to Bucerias.
Yeah, well, listen, it's a big treat for me to come out to Bucerias. This show does not get out here often enough, so tell us a little bit about yourself before we start talking about Artsy. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, and what was your path that led you to Bucerias?
All right, I'll try and keep it to the short story first. Born in London, in England. When I was 3 years old, my parents, obviously British, took an expat program to Rhodesia, a small country in Africa, just north of South Africa. And grew up there till I was 27. Things went a little astray there.
Yeah.
So many of us had to find an alternative living location. And most of us went down to South Africa. And then I reestablished myself with the family in South Africa for 9 years. And then got an opportunity to come to the United States, which I grabbed and came across the United States 30 years ago. And most of my adult career has been in sales, representing American software companies around the world, setting up distributors, building sales forces, primarily, though, based in the United States, although tons and tons of international travel. 6 years ago, I said, enough. I've always had this dream of retiring one day with no responsibility, kids off my hands, and having a little art studio, which I've always been passionate about, and then building out a gallery. And so I retired 6 years ago to Mexico, fell in love with Bucerias, and then 1 year ago, right in the middle of the pandemic, I pulled the trigger and said, it's time.
Wow.
It's time. And everyone thought I was crazy, and I said, no. We'll bring some positive energy. We needed something new, a place where people could feel comfortable. And so I opened up the gallery a year ago, and it was just amazing. It was an amazing success. It's been more than I could ever have wished for.
All right. So a software salesman who is an artist, how long have you been painting?
I've been painting. I'm 72. I've been painting since I was maybe 5.
Wow.
But in all honesty, that was always a passion. It was always a hobby. Could never be an artist and support a family. So that was always put on the back shelf. That was always on the back shelf. And I thought, one day it's my time. And this is what happened.
Yeah.
And so finally I got to that I think that position where most of us dream of is doing something you're really passionate about. Not just for the money, not just to be high up in the corporate world, but to do something you really enjoy doing. And so this is what I have. It's my little happy place.
Yeah, well, it makes me happy walking through your place. Your artwork is fabulous.
Thank you.
You obviously you're painting more Mexican themes here, and obviously Mexican landscapes and such. Is that a change from obviously what you were painting when you were in the States?
So, strangely, at the start, when I started the gallery, I thought there would be a large demand for the Mexican cultural style paintings. As it turns out, not so much.
Really?
Because I would say the great majority of my target audience are Canadians and Americans, and some folks from Europe. And when they establish a second or third home down here, I think they bring with them their culture, and they try and replicate, I think, maybe consciously or unconsciously, what they have back home.
Yeah.
So it's more of the modern, more of the abstract, but they always like one hint, a hint of some Mexican art. So the balance has changed a lot, but still some fabulous American artists.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely fabulous.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I'm going to have pictures of some of his artwork, in the show notes. You'll be able to find it at www.puertovallartatravel.com. His gallery is very pretty, and it's, right on the main drag, Lázaro Cárdenas, right over here.
It sure is.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your art, your technique. What do you do?
Okay. So my art is, when it comes to paintings, is typically wall hangings, typically in acrylic. And I do a lot of work with palette knives, along with palette brushes.
Which gives it depth, right?
A lot of texture, correct.
Texture,
you can put layers and textures and lots of lovely accidental incidents that produce things you were never even thinking about, and you just capitalize on it and go with it.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that's really fun. And then also what's really popular at the gallery here is we've introduced things like craft sessions where, families, groups of friends need something to do for a couple of hours. I'll have them all come in and we'll paint something, or we'll take one of these crafts, one of these cement statues, and they can paint them up. And they do it as a family, and it only takes a couple of hours, but that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then we also represent 3 Mexican artists, one from Mexico City, the other 2 from Tonalá and Tlaquepaque. But these are friends that I built up over the years. And so when I opened up the gallery, they were ready, man. They were, this is fantastic. They've never been represented here.
Oh, wow.
And what I wanted to do was I wanted to show art here that wasn't on every street corner. I wanted to do something that is not seen throughout all the other galleries, make it a tad different. So bring in art from outside and then add my particular style. So quite a bit of difference in the gallery itself.
Very good. Your clients, you say, are mostly Canadians, Americans. You've got there's a lot of building going on around here.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. The last 2 years, it's just exploded here. It really has. I think right now there must be 11, 12, someone said 13 condo buildings in different stages going up in Bucerias.
Yeah.
So it's changing. We're all hoping it changes, obviously for the better. But, progress is progress, I guess, right?
Right.
And,
well, yes, in a way.
In a way.
As long as you still have water.
Right. And, we really are hoping that they'll be a little cognizant of the infrastructure that's going to support all the new buildings and things like that, which hopefully they will. Yeah. And everything will move on.
Right.
And take its course, right? But there's an enormous demand right now for Canadians and Americans buying into Bucerias. Yeah. And a very big demand from Guadalajara because of the new highway coming in. It's only going to be 2.5 hours. How nice to pack up work on a Friday and have dinner in Bucerias at 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
How nice.
Yeah, how nice is that?
Yeah.
These paintings, a lot of them are big. Right?
Yes.
They're really large.
Yes.
If a tourist wanted to take one home,
yes,
how is that done?
Great question. And it's interesting that you asked that question because it couldn't have been 2 or 3 days when I was open. Had not thought about that and had not had a clear understanding of what my audience would be. And a Canadian family came in and said, "Oh my gosh, I love that painting. It was 3 foot by 5 foot." They said, "We can't take this on the plane." Then I looked into what delivery costs would be back to Canada from here. Exorbitant.
Oh, I'm sure it was crazy.
Maybe nearly the cost of the painting.
I was going to say, yeah.
So we came up with this idea, which is, you hear it, you're going to think it's obvious, but so what we do is we make sure all the paintings that we have here are stapled to a simple wooden frame at the back. It's a 2x1 frame. You just go buy it at Home Depot. You can knock it together in a heartbeat. We take the staples off. We roll the paintings carefully with bubble wrap. Put it inside some PVC plumbing pipe. Put the caps on the end, which is also supplied with the pipe. Put an address on it. Most of the folks take it on as hand luggage on the plane. Others say, "Please send it. We don't want to be bothered with it." And it's not that expensive at all.
Excellent.
So that was a great breakthrough.
Oh, yeah.
The other big breakthrough, before I forget, I think what helped us really get going. You remember I mentioned I started in the midst of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it occurred to me then that a lot of people that were buying condos, whether it be in PV or Punta Mita or here, were not comfortable traveling around looking for their art. Genius. Genius. Why don't we take the gallery to the condos? And that was being very, very well received. So we are sort of getting pretty well known now that if you go on the website, have a look at what you might like, you think you might like, you don't know if it'll fit, you're not quite sure of the size, no problem. We'll bring a whole bunch of art out and then see what it looks like on the wall. And if it doesn't work, we take it back. No obligation. That's been very well received as a great service.
Oh, it sounds great. Yeah, that is, my goodness.
Yes.
Wow, think about that, you guys.
PV has been very kind to us. Punta Mita has been very kind to us. Really, it's the idea of taking the art to the house and seeing it in there before making a commitment has been very successful.
Huge. What a great idea. All right. Well, let me just pat you on the shoulder right now.
Thank you. I wish I could brag and say, we thought of this in advance. But that's the beauty, right? About starting something and exploring it and going with the flow and, opportunities present themselves. Sometimes you've got to adapt.
Yeah. So, all right. So you say that they go to your website. So all the pieces of art that you create, you take photos of and you put it on your website?
Yes. And you can find it at artsyplace.com. ARTSIPLACE.com.
Ah, very good. Well, that's easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
You can sign up to the mailing list and we'll let you know as soon as we have new paintings.
Oh, wow.
A lot of our customers can, check up on what's going on with us, so it's really neat.
Yeah, so you don't even have to be here. You can just go, okay, hold that one for me.
Absolutely.
I'll be here in 3 weeks.
In fact, we've had a customer do a repeat purchase online, seeing something, and then we shipped it back to Ohio in the United States.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. All right, so, and it made it in one piece.
Safe and sound. Safe and sound.
What do you use? What do you use to deliver?
DHL.
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 Yeah. The only way to go.
Yeah.
All right. So, how much does it cost to send a
large?
Send a large.
A large painting. Say it was 3 foot by 4 foot. We'd obviously roll it to its narrow end,
right,
to minimize the length of the PVC pipe.
The tube, yeah.
And to the United States would maybe be $155, $160.
All right. Well, simple.
But if the folks are here, obviously, no problem.
No problem.
Take it on the plane.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Oh wow, this is really cool. You also have, it looks like you have an art walk over here in Bucerias, just like we do down in Puerto Vallarta.
We do.
So tell us a little bit about that.
We are very proud of that. So Bucerias for some time has been known for the art walk. There's quite a big art community here. And every Thursday from 6 till 9, starting in the high season, typically November, all the way through to April, most of the galleries, if not all, open up their galleries until later in the evening. We try and persuade people to come in with perhaps a little glass of tequila or a glass of wine, and it's just a whole lot of fun. And there's a number of galleries that open up in the evening. Last night, for example, here this patio was full. We had tables and chairs, and it's a meeting place for a lot of customers and friends. It's really busy.
Yeah.
It was really busy last night, and I hope it picks up. I think it will pick up based on the traffic we're seeing now.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, you just go to the airport. I mean, look out, here they come.
Yeah, right.
All right. So, how many galleries are participating in that? By the way.
Wow. You put me on the spot
Well,
here.
okay. I can cut that out. You know. I don't even have to ask you, brother.
Okay, thank you. I'm guessing there got to be 9 or 10, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. I could get you that number, though.
No, that's all right.
Okay.
You know, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's it's more than 3.
Right.
So
Right.
that's
More than
good.
3.
Yeah.
Less than 100. Okay. Got it.
All right. So let's leave the gallery for just a minute. We'll come back. But let's talk a little bit about Bucerias because we never get out here.
Right.
So we always ask, breakfast, lunch, and dinner questions of people because we want to know where to eat. So if we were going to come to Bucerias and have breakfast, where would we go?
Wow, I could get into a lot of trouble on this one. Have to be.
You could say several, and
There are.
cover all of your friends.
There really are. There's a bunch of really nice breakfast places. Mr. Cream might be known to many. They opened up a new Mr. Cream here. There's
They
one
did?
in Nuevo, but they opened up here. I think it was only 3-4 months ago.
Wow.
Very successful. Karen's on the beach is always popular. You get a great breakfast down there. You go to Mexicano Deliciosa. I mean, that's a classical Mexican place. Great breakfast. Lunar Cafe, very popular. So there's a bunch.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of really good places to have a great breakfast.
Well, cool. I'll have links to those in the show notes, you guys, so you don't have to stop and write it down. We'll have it there for you, so you go right over there and check it out. So, what about lunch? What kind of lunch places you
lunch, like? So many options. Right next door to us here is a fabulous French creperia.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
I was a little bit stopped by the smell of the yummy food coming out of there.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Then you've got right next door to them, you've got Ixta Restaurant, very, very good. Just half a block down, you've got Kensho, a wonderful Thai Asian restaurant. Going this way, you've got so many restaurants opening up. We've got 2 new restaurants down here. But as you go further down the street here and you get towards the end, you'll see, I mentioned Karen's on the street. You've got La Negra, very, very popular restaurant. Just 2 blocks down and to the right, fabulous food, great music. There's a lot going on.
Yeah,
I mean,
is.
It's deceiving. For a small town, there's a lot of good food, a lot of good vibes, a lot of good places to hang out.
Absolutely. And there's no doubt that's why people really like to be here.
Yeah.
It's not, they don't have to go far. They just walk out their door and it's right there.
If Bucerias was a secret, it's not a secret anymore.
No, it's not. That's for sure.
It's expanding rapidly. It's good to see a lot of new businesses as well.
Yeah.
Considering the pandemic, and it's been tough on a lot of businesses, but many of them have made it through.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Unfortunately, we lost some, but many of them have made it through, and hopefully we'll be better off for it, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Oh, I agree. How about dinner? What kind of dinner places around here?
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, you have is there a fancy spot here? Is there a fancy dinner spot in Bucerias?
There's some really nice white tablecloth restaurants in Bucerias. Cooley's, lovely. Sandrina's, lovely. Ixta over here in the evening, very, very nice. Open air. You've got Esquina. You've got, I think I mentioned Karen's again. I mean, there's just so much.
Yeah.
Honestly, evenings, for a later dinner, you might want to consider La Negra, just because of the vibe there and amazing music.
Oh, so when you say the vibe, they got live music. They got that thing going on there.
A lot of DJ type music there. Very, very well done. Very, very well done. And sometimes live music is up there. They have a palapa upstairs that they open up sometimes on a Friday and a Saturday, which is really, really nice. But yeah, I mean, eating options around here, plenty.
Yeah. How about nightclubs?
In the traditional sense, I think the closest thing to a nightclub would be the Lunar Lounge. The Lunar Lounge is really, really interesting. They bring a lot of shows in. Right now, very, very popular. Pretty hard to get tickets to a lot of the shows that they bring in. But that's a fun spot. They also serve food. They also serve drinks. As far as clubs are concerned, we don't have, that I'm aware of, we don't have something like a Nacho Daddy's, which I think is great.
Yeah.
And great music. But we do have lots of spots, different spots with great music, and some of them, specialize more in the food and the drinks, and the others the music. But yeah, you got a pretty big selection around Bucerias.
Yeah.
Some of them can go on pretty late too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good. All right. It sounds like it's not just like a sleepy little town anymore.
Not anymore.
No.
Not anymore.
What is there to do other than eat in Bucerias and walk and check out some beautiful art galleries?
Wow. Okay, you've got a lot. So, as far as the beach and the water's concerned, I mean, you've got paddleboarding, okay, you've got kayaking, you've got kite surfing, you've got an enormous, very, very large sailing community here, right, in terms of charters or whale watching or fishing or so much. There's so many activities going on beach-wise. We also have quite a few festivals down here. Again, very, very popular with the arts. So we have things like the artists come down and close off the best part of this main street and chalk paint and things like that. So it's not like that's a regular thing, but you have multiple events taking place like that. Okay?
Yeah.
So as far as cycling goes, you can pick yourself up a rental bike. A couple of places here is very popular. Hiking, you don't have to go too far to go on a decent hike. There's a lot. There's no reason to be bored in Bucerias.
In Bucerias, there's a Mexican town in Bucerias, right? I mean, we were thinking that everything is here. You look around, and all we see is Canadians and Americans, and and Europeans. And every once in a while, you see somebody who's Mexican. Where's the Mexican town in Bucerias?
That's a tough one. I think it's. I don't know if there is such thing as a Mexican town in Bucerias. I think there are lots of areas that is very diverse, both with the expats and the local, the Mexicans, the nationals. Typically speaking, if you go on to the other side of the Highway 200, you're going to have more of the Mexican-style homes, the Mexican-style neighborhoods, and things like that. Whereas if you're on this side, by the beach side, I think it's more influenced by the expat likes and dislikes in terms of modernization and stuff like that.
Right.
Downtown Centro, lots of lovely little communities in and around Centro. And then coming in and coming out of Bucerias, there's a number of really neat. I would say more Mexican influenced, as opposed to just being Mexican.
Right.
I mean, many of my friends live in those same neighborhoods, and I thoroughly enjoy it. There's great restaurants there. I mentioned one like Cooley's is on the other side of the highway. It's absolutely fabulous. El Fogoncito, a fabulous Mexican street side restaurant on the other side, just on the other side of the highway. So it's pretty much, what's the right word?
Cosmopolitan.
Yeah, it's very. I think it's pretty much integrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, good.
Yeah.
All right. And if I were going to be living here, I'd be living in that neighborhood too, by the way. I just want you to know.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, you've got and for anyone that's listening to this, that I bet they've heard this 100 times. I bet they've heard, the local Mexican folks are perhaps the friendliest people in the world. I can testify to that, right? I mean, I've lived on 4 continents. I've lived in 18 different cities. I've traveled the world. And it won't be the first time folks have heard me say this. I think as far as the culture concerned, I think personally it's the most appealing. I think they're the most least spoilt. I think they're the most grateful. I think they're most hardworking. Absolutely love it. And that's why I'm here. I mean, I've been here 6 years. I call Mexico home.
Yeah.
It's home.
If you were going to take a day trip, you're going to go somewhere, where would you go? Come back the same day.
San Sebastian.
Yeah.
San Sebastian, if you rent your own car, you can get there in an hour, 20 minutes. There's enough to see there. Spend 3 or 4 hours, maybe get a late lunch, early dinner, and make your way back.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Going out to Punta Mita is really beautiful, because then you can in one day you can do a stop in at Salulita, a stop in at San Pancho, and then go on to Punta Mita, maybe have a late lunch there, and then make your way back again.
Oh.
I mean, that's a really lovely day too. That's a lovely day.
Yeah, it sounds like a great day. I'll have to do that one day.
Yeah,
Do
it.
Okay, I will. All right, just because you said so, Alec. What about a 3-day? What if you're going to go for a 3-day?
A 3-day
weekend? Do you get a 3-day weekend ever? Have you ever done that?
I travel quite a bit, so I am addicted to traveling through Mexico. So I've traveled many times: Guadalajara, Mexico City, Mérida, Guanajuato, San Miguel de Allende, Zacatecas, Aguascalientes, Monterrey.
You drive to all these places?
Most of them.
Do you really?
I've driven to most of them.
You know they got planes that go to some of these places.
I do, and it's so cheap, but you miss out on so much. You miss out on being able to just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop and say, oh my gosh, what's that? It's so interesting, right?
Really? So, you're not all afraid of the Mexican bandito coming to get you?
No.
Okay, see, listen up, everybody.
Never had, very, very fortunate. I've heard a lot of stories. I haven't had anything close to what I'd call an incident. And I mean, I've traveled all over Mexico. I drove from here to Chicago and back. And I'm ready to do the next trip. No, I have no problems at all.
Excellent.
No.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
What kind of vehicle do you drive?
I drive a Honda Pilot.
A Pilot. All right. You like it?
I do. It's nice and big too, so it allows me to bring back all the art and.
Yeah, and it's good for the roads.
Perfect. It's high off the ground. Got to get over these topies.
Yeah, no kidding about that. Yeah, sometimes they have the topies that go the other direction too.
Right.
Which I found the other day, and that you bottom out on one of those suckers. Those are even worse,
aren't they?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
If you had a word of advice for a first-time traveler coming to this area, coming to Bucerias, let's say, or even Puerto Vallarta, you pick. What would you tell them?
How long they're coming for?
Oh, let's just say a week. They're coming for a week stay.
They're coming for a week stay. This would be my advice. I would say, do yourselves a favor and everyone else a favor. Try learn a couple of words. Learn a couple of words in Spanish. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, thank you, please. It goes such a long way. It really does go a long way. And if you're adventurous, learn a couple more words. Think of some of the things you're going to be needing in a taxi. 3 blocks, 2 blocks. If you can count just basics, 1 to 10. It just goes a long way. Okay. Then secondly, I think coming to Mexico, try and abandon the rush to finish everything. I would suggest try to take on more of a relaxed mentality. People down here are very relaxed. They're not going to hassle you for You go to a restaurant, when you're finished, they're going to wait until you're ready for the bill.
Right, so don't get mad at them
Don't get
for
mad.
not bringing the bill,
It's
right?
It's not bad service at all. It's their version of etiquette. They don't want to rush you because you've done them the goodwill of coming to their restaurant. We want you to enjoy the evening. It's not like a lot of us are accustomed to. They're not trying to turn that table over 4 times.
Well.
You know, they're quite happy to let you be. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Courtesy doesn't matter wherever you go. I mean, courtesy and patience. And I would say the one thing I would do is I would just allow your taste buds and your perceptions of different cultural foods to leave you for a few days and just try it. Just try it. We can get a hamburger anywhere, right?
Yes, for
You
sure.
can get a hot dog anywhere. You can get pasta anywhere. Oh, man, but you got to try some mole. Come on. You've got to try some really good Mexican food. And I think it was Anthony Bourdain, God bless him, before we lost him. Of all his travels around the world, he rated Mexico as the #1 eating destination cuisine in the world. And there's good reason for that. But we just have to... It's not Taco Bell, right? It's not
That's
Taco
right.
Bell. You gotta be a little adventurous, a little more willing, open the mind, to have a go at it. It's absolutely delicious. It's absolutely delicious. So I think you get those things going, you're in good shape. You'd have a good holiday.
Good. What about a word of warning? You got any words of warning for somebody coming here for the first time, or any time actually?
I think on any holiday, whether it be Mexico or whether it be Brazil, whether it be Asia, just use common sense, right? I mean, if you're going to walk around at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's maybe not a good idea to have a $20,000 gold Rolex watch.
Right.
I mean, it's not anything against the Mexicans. It's not anything against the Brazilians. Not anything against the Asians. There's just a bad element wherever you go. And if they see a couple of old guys had too much to drink wearing a Rolex watch, it's easy prey. So don't wear it.
Don't wear it.
I mean,
That's right.
just don't wear it. Do
Just
you really
bring
have
your-
to wear it?
Bring your sundial.
Exactly.
That's what I say.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Just, I mean, look around at your environment and just, adapt to it.
Yeah.
You can see it, right?
Absolutely.
You can see it.
Absolutely.
Be cool.
Yeah.
Just be cool.
Right. Well, hey, let's get back to Artsy.
Right.
Tell us about how we find you.
Okay. So we are at 500 Lázaro Cadenas, which is the main street that goes through Bucerias. And you come off the highway either at one of the main entrances is at Chedraui. The other one is at the CMQ hospital, or you can come into Centro, which is one past the CMQ hospital. And we're just about slap bang in the middle of the main street between the Chedraui area and then what they call the Centro part of Bucerias.
Okay. All right. Good. And so you have a Facebook page,
We do.
and you have you have Instagram too.
We just actually starting out on Instagram.
Okay,
We haven't
good.
been using that platform much
That's
at all.
great. You
But
gotta use it.
yeah,
Oh, you will
we've
find
heard
it
that
be-
from everyone. Heard that from everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and then of course you're online. You've got that website which has got all your work.
Uh-huh.
And we'll have links to all of those in the show notes.
Uh-huh.
I'll actually have I'll have a Google map that'll take you to the front door of Artsi Galeria Bucerias.
Right.
And of course you know where to find that at the website. Is there anything I forgot before we say goodbye today?
I don't think so. I mean, really appreciate you coming out and really appreciate getting a little exposure, always.
Oh well,
right?
listen,
And
it's a pleasure to have met you
Thank you.
and to have been able to tour your gallery, see your fine artwork,
thank you.
and hear what you have to say about Bucerias. And I really appreciate that. It's going to help my listeners understand and learn a little bit about this place.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Alec. I have all of the information that you're going to need for Artsi Galeria in the show notes. I've got his website, his Facebook page. I've got some pictures of their beautiful artwork and pictures of the inside and outside of the gallery, as well as a Google map that will take you right to Alec's front door. So thanks again, Alec. I appreciate it. Next, we go to a restaurant, Bucerias. I came back at a later date with Johnny D to Bucerias. We came to watch the Gecko Band play on a Saturday afternoon over at a restaurant called El Chivero. The restaurant is right on the beach. And this particular time that I came to Bucerias, we talked a little bit about this before. I did not take the bus. Instead, I took an Uber, or, well, my in-driver friend, Eric. He drove Johnny D and I up to Bucerias. Now, El Chivero is a big restaurant. It's got a big view of the bay. It's right on the sand. And they set up their stage right on the sand, right up against the restaurant. And then they set up tables and chairs out in the sand, out on the beach, where you sit with your backs to the ocean, under umbrellas, and you're eating and you're drinking and you're having a great time, and you're facing the stage and the musicians when you're enjoying a time, when you're enjoying the band. When you walk into the restaurant, you know it's a fun place because they have a stack of boogie boards waiting for you to use. I thought that was a really nice touch. But I wanted to talk with the owner. His English wasn't that great, so I got the grandson of the guy who built the place to talk with me. His name is Alberto Quintero, and Alberto was kind enough to take his time and tell me about the history of an oldie but goodie. Bucerias' oldest and longest surviving family-owned seafood restaurant on the beach. So let's meet him now. Alberto Quintero from El Chivero Restaurant and Bar, Nuevo, Nayarit, Mexico. Alberto, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thanks to you to invite me to your podcast.
Yeah, you're very welcome, my friend. And don't be nervous, man. I won't bite you. It's all good.
Thanks a lot.
Tell us where you're from. Where were you born?
I was born in Bucerias, Nayarit, near to Puerto Vallarta. And I'm cities in Pata Salada. Many people that lives in this area. We are natives and call it Pata Salada here in Puerto Vallarta and Bahía de Banderas.
So even in Bucerias, you could be a Pata Salada, right?
Yes.
Oh, right on. Sure. All right. So you grew up here. When you grew up here, Bucerias was a tiny town, wasn't it?
Yes, for sure. Well, it was a small town. Well, even I'm not so old, but I'm young. But my father, my grandparents are native to Bucerias, and probably one of the first families in Bucerias.
Really? All right. So tell us about this place that we're sitting in.
And this place is named El Chivero. The name begins when my grandparents lives in a place that has a lot of shepherds, sheep, and he was a shepherd.
So a Chivero is a shepherd.
Chivero is shepherd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the reason that the people that knows him tell him that he's a shepherd, Chivero.
He's a Chivero, so he's got to name his place Chivero.
Yes, that's the reason that they call it Chivero to the place.
How long has Chivero been here?
Here are from 1965.
Wow. So is this probably the oldest place, you think, restaurant in Bucerias?
In Bucerias, I think it's the oldest.
Wow.
For now. With the same family.
Yeah.
Because many people already sold his places and don't live in Bucerias, but we are the oldest, and in this restaurant business, I think it's the first and the last.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, this is cool. I see you got a big bar. This is actually a very, very big place right on the beach.
Yes.
I guess everything comes out of that bar, right?
Okay.
I mean, you've got everything, right?
We think we got everything that what we need for the people that comes to be on the beach, and for the customers we think we got the complete bar.
Yeah,
for the people.
You sure do. And you do food?
For food we got seafood, chicken and beef, but we always be working more with the seafood.
Okay, so seafood is your specialty.
Yes.
Here. What is the most popular dish?
I think the seafood shells. It comes with a mix of seafood, a little bit of cheese on top. Then that's lobster, and then lobster and filet mignon by the side, and a little bit vegetables and salad.
So it's kind of a surf and turf.
Surf and turf, yes.
Yeah. All right. So that's the favorite. You think that's kind of the
within
big
one
deal?
Of the best.
Yeah. So mostly Mexican style food.
Yes, but not too much.
Okay. Just seafood. Like come
Just
into a seafood restaurant.
Seafood restaurant.
Excellent. All
And
right.
the name comes from chip, and many people think that we sell cheap meat or something
yeah,
like that, but we don't.
You don't have lamb.
No, we just have like seafood and different kind of food.
Yeah. All right. And then you do appetizers, right? You got little finger food and stuff like that for sitting on the beach too, right?
Yes, like a snacks or something like that.
Yeah. Nachos.
Nachos.
Guacamole, probably.
Yes. Club sandwich, hamburgers.
Yeah.
Got many.
Very
many.
good. So, would this be kind of considered like a beach club? Do you have like loungers out there that you put out too?
Yes, we consider like a beach club, and that's the reason that we have entertainment every 3 days or 4 days per week. We have rock bands, salsa, merengue, and I think the special is the rock band.
Yeah. Well, today we're here. We got Victor and the
the Gecko Band.
The Gecko Band. Yeah. So
the best band in the Bucerias Island.
Yeah, exactly right. So they come in. I guess they're here like every Saturday or something, right?
Yes, every Saturday.
Yeah.
They come.
When does their season end? Do you know?
Our season?
Yeah, like
the best season.
Well, for the bands and stuff. Do they go all year?
They start from November until the season finish. Probably it could be longer or.
It depends. It depends on the crowds, right? You need to be able to, feed your employees. So you've got to make sure that you can do all that stuff too, and have a band.
Yes, yes. We always work like that.
Yeah. Well, you get a good crowd for a band, which is really important,
many
right?
People. This is a big place that comes here. We have like 400 chairs.
Yeah.
That's a big place.
That's a big place. That's probably one of the biggest.
Yes,
in this place.
every Saturday is full when the Gecko comes to play.
Ah, excellent. All right, Victor, you hear that? Get a raise. No, I'm kidding. All right, well let's leave the restaurant just for a minute. Let's go out into Bucerias.
Okay.
Because we at the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show very seldom get up to Bucerias. Yes. It's easy, right? It's easy to get here from Vallarta.
Yes. It's around 15 minutes by car.
Yeah.
Near to Puerto Vallarta. There's no longer. That's close.
Right. Let's talk about. All right. So you do lunch and you do dinner. So let's talk about
Lunch
breakfast places in Bucerias because I don't want to step on your business.
Okay.
If you were going to go out, you had one choice of a place to eat breakfast in Bucerias, which one would it be?
Which one I think is the best? It's hard.
Well, you can give me a couple of them.
But I'm going to give you a couple. It's going to be the Waffle House, that it's on the Lázaro Cárdenas, and the Paninos. Paninos is good, but then close to me there's a place named Nino Cafe. That's
Dino
a good
Cafe?
place. Yes.
D-I-N-O?
This is a good place too for the breakfast in the morning.
Uh-huh.
And I think if you are looking for something for tacos or something like that. Close. It's the Viva Pancho Villa tacos that is close from Bucerias. The guy is not from Bucerias, but now he is still been like.
Well, where is he?
It's close to me, like 1 block up, and that is named the Birria Tacos Pancho Villa.
Birria Tacos Pancho Villa. And it's in Bucerias.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we always look for good birria tacos, right?
Birria tacos are good too.
Yeah, well, it's the breakfast of champions, my friend.
Yes, it's really, really, really good tacos.
Yeah, and they'll fill you up. They'll fill you up easily until noon, right? That's the good thing about birria is that it'll get you going. It'll get you through the day.
If you come to Bucerias, you need to try some tacos of birria.
All right, excellent. All right. Well, what else is in Bucerias? I mean, I see that there's a lot of wind, so you guys get a lot of wind sailors out there, I imagine.
Yes.
Windsurfers.
Windsurfers, there's many people that came every season for practice that sport. Then I think that it's easier to do it in Bucerias because the sea is really not big waves, but too much wind.
Yeah. So just what you want for that.
The perfect scenario for do that sport.
Yeah, definitely. What else happens around here? What else? Do they have special festivals in Bucerias?
Yes, the Oyster Festival, and that comes every year. They do it by the native people of Bucerias. They organize and they bring like 3,000 or 4,000 oysters. Then give them to the people that came to watch the festival. That's for free. If you never try one oyster and you don't like to pay, just wait to the festival and you will have many.
Then you can have many to see whether you like those slimy things, right?
Yes.
Well, I shouldn't say that. You probably love them, right?
Yes.
Yes, you do. Okay. Yeah.
I do.
Okay, I understand. All right. So, how do you properly prepare an oyster? What do you put on it?
An oyster. Okay, I just put salt, lime, and chile.
That's it. Salt, lime, and chili.
Salt, lime, and chili.
Okay.
And there's a chili from Nayarit. It's in a bottle, but we call it the huichol. That's really good.
Yeah, I
and
like
for the oyster, I think it's the best.
Okay. All right. Well, good. There you have it. So the huichol salsa. All right. So you had the Oyster Festival. Any other festivals? They probably have kite surfing festival more than likely. I imagine, right?
They do many things, but I think the one that is good festival is only the Oyster Festival and the. No, I don't know. I don't know which other.
That's
I
about
think
it, right?
That's the good one.
Okay. Now, Bucerias has it's. They have like their own little downtown, right? Is there like a Mexican part of Bucerias and like a expat part of Bucerias? It seems like there is. Is there?
Yes, they make difference.
Yeah. So where would be where's the Mexican part of Bucerias?
The Mexican part of Bucerias is not on the downtown. It's close in the main street, crossing the main street on the highway. There's 2, 3, 4 blocks up, and then there's the real Bucerias.
And that's
yes, but that's the only Mexican lives there. But for now, there's many people that came from Canada that make friends in Bucerias, and you can see it then walking and being on houses, having party or something like that with the Mexicans. But that's the real Bucerias there.
Yeah.
The real Mexican part of Bucerias.
Right. All right, cool. All right, so. Yeah, if you want to find like the real Mexican part of Bucerias, it's not here.
It's not in the downtown. It's not close to the beach.
So if somebody were to wander into the Mexican part of Bucerias, there's places to shop. There's restaurants. There's all kinds of stuff like that.
Nothing.
Or no, it's nothing. It's just like it's a residential area. Right?
Yes.
Ah, okay. So really, there's no reason to go up there unless you have friends.
No, just with the friends.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Then forget everything I just said. No. All right. So people are here for food. They're here for fun, but they're here for maybe the atmosphere, huh?
Yeah, but if you Bucerias is a place really quiet, comfortable. The people is really nice. friendly. And if you would like to be rest in a nice place, you have to come to Bucerias.
Definitely.
Get an apartment or something like that. And you have to be really, really, really rest.
Yeah.
really.
This is a place to come and relax.
Yes.
That's why we got a bunch of Canadians here, because they like to rest. They love to rest.
Yes.
I didn't mean that.
And if you if you are close to have one day party or something like that, you have to go just to the downtown, and there's many places you can have fun.
Yeah.
And be on a quiet life too.
Yeah. Good. Very good. All right, so let's leave Bucerias for a few minutes. Let's go ahead and get out of town or whatever you do, because I'm going to ask you, what would you do if you had a day off and you were going to take a day trip somewhere? You're going to come back same day.
Yes.
What would you do?
I'll go to the beach.
And
there's many places, many spots in Bucerias that the tourists don't know. The really good place that we have in this bay. That it's near to Punta Emita. There's some places that are really, really, really nice.
Yeah.
And I go to with my family to the beach and have fun.
Any particular place that you like to go in Punta de Mita?
Yes, Palito Verde.
Palito Verde.
Palito Verde. I like to go to that place. And there's another a pool. There's like in the sea. There's a kind of pool. We call it the pool, the alberca. And close to Mita too, and there's really nice too.
And it's just it's part of the ocean, yes.
Yes, there's a pool, big pool in the ocean.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow. All right. That's pretty cool.
Yes, that's
nice. You got an alberca in the middle of the ocean.
In the middle of the ocean, yes, for sure. Really nice.
What if you had 3 days? What would you do if you had 3 days off?
I'll go to other places like not here. I go far from crossing Puerto Vallarta, close to Tomatlan. I go to there's a place I like to go to eat crawfish.
Catfish.
Crawfish. They got
crawfish.
Crawfish.
Yeah.
I like to go to that place. There comes in La Presa de Cajón de Peñas, or I go to Tegua. Many places, but really nice. It's small places. They are starting to grow up, but there's really nice, good food.
Yeah, there's great places down there. So Cajón de Peña is where you find the crawfish.
Yes, we find the crawfish there. There's La Presa de Cajón de Peñas, and you can go there, get some good crawfish, good fish, and there's good flavors there.
Excellent. All right. Well, that's a place that I hadn't.
Mexican places.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're all looking for, right?
Yes.
That's why we come to Mexico.
Yes.
If you had a word of advice for a first-time traveler that was coming to Bucerias or to Puerto Vallarta, for that matter, what would it be? What kind of advice would you give them? First-timer,
First time. Make a lot of activities in the ocean. There's many. If you can go get the paddleboard in the morning, then get some trips on the sea. Go to Los Arcos, Punta Mita. There's an island too. There's many activities, but enjoy the sea.
Yeah, get out on the bay, right?
And all the whole activities in the bay. That's the best. I think it's the best.
Yeah, I mean that's why we're here.
Yes,
right? We come here for the sea.
Well, watching.
Yeah. How about a word of warning? You got any words of warning for somebody who's just coming for the first time? Or it doesn't even have to be the first time. Just anytime.
No, but I think it's like warning. I don't think so, because even I don't see problems with the tourists. The Mexicans don't have problems with the tourists. They like the tourists, and we always try to the whole people that come and visit us be safe in Mexico.
Yeah, the old pata salada spirit.
Yes.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about Puerto Vallarta, because you go there every once in a while, right?
Yes. I go every day.
You got any favorite restaurants there?
I got one that is Alcatraz's. I like it for get breakfast there.
Yeah, it's good.
Lunch. There's really good cuisine right there. And I like sushis. I go to Mikado. I go to many places, but there's small places in Puerto Vallarta that got a really good cuisine.
Yeah,
Really
they are.
nice.
I mean,
Not only the big places, the small places got really nice food.
yeah, little hole in the wall
Yes,
spots.
and service.
Yeah,
They got good service, but I don't got in mind one, but the whole small places got good service, good food, and they're very friendly people.
yeah. And you can usually find actually a better price too at some of these
Yes,
places too,
yes.
because they don't have a huge overhead.
Yes, you can be. And I think one that is on my mind that is named the Sushi House. If you would like to eat sushi, there's not expensive place. It's good. It's a good place. Got a good service, good food. That's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's come back to El Chivero.
Okay.
Give us your address. Where are you at?
We are in Bucerias, Bucerias Nayarit, Colonia Centro, de Avenida del Pacífico número 9. And it's one block close to the main square of the Bucerias downtown.
Easy to find.
Yes, easy to find. And we are close to the water, to the sea, near
Yeah, that's right.
in front of the ocean.
The only place to be, right?
Yes.
You got a Facebook page?
Yes.
Got
El Chivero
Instagram?
Seafood Place. El Chivero Seafood.
Okay, very good. And the website? You got a website too?
The same name.
Same
El
name.
Chivero.
Okay, very good. Well, I'll have all that. Of course, I'll have links to all that in the show notes. You can find it at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. As you know, I'll have a Google map that will take you right to the front door of El Chivero. And I will even have a picture of your smiling face.
Okay.
Make sure you get it to me, okay?
Yes, for sure.
It's really
Okay.
important. Before I leave, make sure I take a picture.
Okay. Before you leave, we got the picture.
That's right, man. That's exactly right.
Okay, but we're gonna get a both picture. We're gonna have one.
We'll have one together.
Yes,
All right,
one
excellent.
together. Okay.
I would love to do that.
Okay.
Alberto, I want to thank you so much for taking your time and talking with me and allowing me to introduce you and El Chivero to my listeners. I truly appreciate that.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Alberto. Thanks for sharing the story and the history of your family. You have a lovely restaurant there. I've got pictures of the restaurant and, of course, food porn, as I always give you over on the website. You can find it at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. I have a link to their Facebook page as well as a Google map that'll take you right to the front door of El Chivero Restaurant and Bar, The Shepherd. It's in the show notes. I even have a picture of Alberto and me right there in the show notes. Victor and the Geckos are touring Canada right now, and they will be returning the beginning of high season, and you will definitely be able to see them on Saturday afternoons up at El Chivero. Good old school seafood right on the beach in Bucerias. Okay, well, that should do it for today, wouldn't you say? Stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta next week with more travel tips, great restaurant excursion ideas, and more. But until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, well, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us a message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com. That's JR's website. Help him out. Reserve a tour through him right from his website. Remember that this is a value-for-value proposition. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for you making a purchase of a tour that you would do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you were going to use someone else. So do it, really. And when you do take one of those tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And don't forget, he's got his maps, his DIY tours, his revitalized happy hour, board, and more. And I have links to all of those in the show notes, And once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time and subscribe and follow and share with a lover of Puerto Vallarta, or give me a good review wherever you happen to be listening. That way we can get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode I create. But if you haven't been to my website, you really need to have a look there. I have links to the places that we talk about, interesting pictures and more, all there in the blog post and in the show notes for each episode of the show. So check them out for sure if you haven't already. All right? All right. Thank you, Edgar Rivas from the Ceviche Aguachili Festival. Don't miss that event. It's coming up in Puerto Magico this Sunday, the 31st. Thank you, Alec Wilson from Artsi Galeria. Have him bring the art to you. What do you think? If you don't want to go all the way to Bucerias, he can do that for you. It's a great idea. And thank you, Alberto Quintero from El Chivero. Get over there, enjoy a view of the beautiful ocean, beautiful bay. Get some music, get some great seafood. Take a boogie board out and get some sand in your underwear. Come on. Anyway, I have links and I got pictures and I've got maps, of course, that you can find all that in the blog over at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. And thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler signing off with a wish for you all to slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
Noche de arrullo en el mar, samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino, perro por la playa, me encuentro junto al río, cuando todo está en calma, pronto cae la noche, me brillas Puerto Vallarta, samba de Puerto Vallarta.